In order to strengthen the capacities of the next generation of thought leaders in Southern Africa, USAID Resilient Waters Program, together with the Center for Sustainability Transitions at Stellenbosch University, awarded bursaries to 11 Southern African postgraduate students. These early career researchers are conducting master's and PhD research on issues linked to enhancing the resilience of transboundary resources in the Limpopo and Okavango River basins. Their research contributes towards the overarching goal of Resilient Waters, which sought to build more resilient and water-secure Southern African communities and ecosystems through improving management of transboundary natural resources and increasing access to safe drinking water and sanitation services. These videos introduce the students and highlight their exciting work as future change makers in Southern Africa.
Hi, I'm Blessing Kavu. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm doing my PhD in geoinformatics with the Center for Sustainability Transition at Stellenbosch University, with funding from the USAID Resilient Waters project. My study is focusing on the drivers and impact of land use and climate change in the Okavango Basin, looking at the changes that occurred during the war and the post-Angolan war period. The specific objectives of this study are, number one, we're going to be we looked at the changes that occurred during this period that I've just mentioned. Then the drivers of these changes, in particular the socio-ecological drivers of change. We're looking at the spread, how land use and climate change is likely to spread in the basin. We're also looking at the impact of land use and climate change on surface water availability across 13 socio-economic zones of the Okavango Basin. So from some of the findings that I picked up from my study was that land use and climate change occurred during the period 1996 to 2020. Much changes happened during the post-war period between 2004 and 2020, and not much changes have been observed, especially in the northern part of the basin, in particular areas around Angola. But there was a sudden increase in the extent of land use and cover classes, especially anthropogenic classes, such as the cultivated space, the built-up space, and the bellend in the northern part. So that sage gives an indication that the post-war period was associated with a lot of movement into the basin, into the northern part of the basin, especially in places like Menongu in the northern part of that basin. Then on the spread computations, we picked up that there is a likely chance that land use and climate change is likely to spread from the northern part of the basin in Angola towards the central and southern part of the basin, especially those anthropogenic related changes. And they are likely to focus on areas close to the river basin, the riparian ecosystems, and areas that are close to surface water bodies such as the Kyoto River and Okuvango River and the Okavango River as well. Then in terms of the impact of land use and climate change, we picked up that it's not widespread across the whole basin. There are certain socioeconomic zones that are mainly affected by land use and climate change, in particular zone number 1, zone number 7, and zone number 13. These zones are associated with a lot of urbanization, agricultural practices, molapo farming, and high dependence on surface water resources in these spaces, which translate to high population densities, high economic activities, as well as high tourism activities in the same space. Overall, I picked up that besides the impact of land use and climate change, there is also a very important aspect of climate, which is also contributing to the impact of, which is also impacting on the availability of surface water. With this, my interest is on the precipitation and evapotranspiration and how it then affects the availability of water in this space. So overall, we picked up that a combination of climate and land use and climate change is driving the availability of surface water in the basin, and addressing these issues will ensure that there is equitable distribution of surface water in the basin. And from our findings, we also realized that there is need to revise the land use plan for the basin, or even develop for those areas that do not have a land use plan, so that we can address this problem holistically. Then there's also need to suggest solutions at a micro level, especially when it comes to addressing the water security issues, maybe focus should be given to those socioeconomic zones that have been affected the most by land use and cover change. By this, we propose the development of community conservancies, protected areas in these spaces, and putting in some measures which controls development in certain portions of the basin. So this study will address the issues around equitable distribution of water, water security, and reduction of human footprint on the natural ecosystem in the Okavango Basin. I thank you.